In this part of the review, we're going to go over the quadratics, which, if you have the paper, says Unit 11. It says, use the graph at the right to answer the following questions. How many roots does the parabola have? Remember that when you're talking about roots, kind of crazy graphs, hold on. Okay. Roots. What's another name for roots? What are they asking us for? They're asking us for the solutions. We also call them zeros. But mainly, we're looking for the x-intercepts. That's what the roots are. They're looking to see where they cross the x-axis. Okay? There are three types of solutions. I know the graphs are drawn kind of crazy. See right here, they cross the x-axis twice. There are two solutions in that graph. Another one, they touch just here once, and so they have one solution. And then here they don't cross at all, so there's no solution. So when we go back and look at our problem, how many roots does this parabola have? It crosses in two spots. There are two roots. How many zeros does a quadratic have? Again, two. Roots and zeros mean the same thing. What are the roots of the parabolas? Well, this right here looks like it is -5, 0. And over here, 1, 0. There are our solutions. Number 59. How many roots does this parabola have? There is none. Or, you know, we write none, and the other thing we've done in the past is we've written no real solutions. Because there is imaginary, but you don't do that till later on. So again, right here, zeros and roots mean the same thing. There are none. There are no real solutions. And the reason for that is because it does not touch the x-axis at all. Okay, looks like there's a whole lot going on here. Let's break this up into parts. It says, give the value for A, B, and C for the following quadratic equations. Remember that the quadratic function in standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. You have to make all of these equal 0. Now on this one, a lot of people try and move the x squared over here to the right. We want to keep our x squared positive. So what I would do, well, let's see. Let me write it on another page here. So x squared equals 9x minus 18. Is that right? I can't find my paper here. It is? Okay. All right. So now I'm going to move my 9x over here to the left, and I can't just put it there. I have to subtract 9x from each side. I get x squared minus 9x equals -18. Now move the 18 to the other side. I will add 18 to each side. I'm going to get x squared minus 9x plus 18 equals 0. Now I said that standard form was ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Well, a is the number in front of x squared. If there's not a number, there's a 1. A is 1, b is -9, and c is 18. Okay, the next one. I have 4x squared plus 8x equals negative 4. Let's move this into standard form so we can find a, b, and c. First off, these two, the x squared and the x, are on the same side. I need to move the 4 over there. So I'm going to add 4 to each side. I get 4x squared plus 8x plus 4 equals 0. Now from here, a is 4, b is 8, c is 4. The next one, I have x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals 0. Well, it's already set equal to 0, so I already can find a, b, and c. A is the number in front of x squared. A is 1. B is negative 5. And C is 4. That's all you had to do on those. Okay, the next ones. It says solve the following quadratic equations with the quadratic formula. You must show the plug-in step. Okay, well, let's go and let me write down the problem here. We had 2x squared minus x equals 7. Okay, quadratic formula. Remember, x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? You will have a formula chart on your final. Okay? Now, from here, though, to find a, b, and c, we have to set it equal to 0. So I have to subtract 7 from each side. I get 2x squared minus x minus 7 equals 0. A is 2, B is negative 1, C is negative 7. Okay, now that you have A, B, and C, we have to go here. It says x equals negative b. Well, it's really the opposite of b. And b is, see, look what I did. Leave the negative there. And b is negative 1, so it goes in there like this. Plus or minus the square root b squared. So I have negative 1 squared minus 4. Put this all up here, put the formula in there. Whoops. 4 times a times c, negative 7, all over 2a, 2 times 2. Now, let's look at this and break this apart. This is when people get into trouble. Whoops. Negative and negative, this means a positive 1. Plus or minus the square root. Well, we need to do what's underneath the square root sign in our calculator right here. Leave that square root here. We're not doing that yet in the calculator. We're going to come over here, and we're going to put in there parentheses, negative 1 squared minus 4 times a times c. And press enter. It gives us 57. So I'm going to put 57, let's see, let's go here. 57, and all over 2 times 2, which is 4. Now, there are 2 roots for a quadratic, so I'm going to do this. You have 1 plus the square root of 57 divided by 4, and 1 minus the square root of 57 divided by 4. Well, in the calculator, what we're going to need to do the top part first. Okay, so let me get this up here. I have, there we go, 1 plus the square root, second, and x squared right here, 57, and press enter. Get this answer first. Now press divide by 4. So it should be 2.13. So we have x equals 2.13. Well, 1/4 technically if you rounded it up. But either way, it'll be close enough to figure it out. Let's see. So what would... The next one, I have 1 minus the square root of 57. Press enter. Divided by 4. And enter. Negative 1.64. So my other answer is x equals negative 1.64. Okay? Those are your two solutions. That's where they will cross the x-axis. Next that it wanted you to do, the problem was, let's see here, x squared minus 8 equals 2x. The formula, negative b plus or minus the square root, square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2, well, come on, pen, 2a. All right, go ahead and take a minute and solve this one, please. Okay, before you can use the quadratic equation, you have to make sure it's set up in standard form. So you needed to subtract 2x from each side. And you get x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Whoop. A is 1, b is negative 2, c is negative 8. So now, from here, negative b, the opposite of b. B is negative 2 plus or minus the square root b squared, negative 2 squared minus 4 times a times c. A is 1 and c is negative 8 all over 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. All right, so now it's putting all those individual pieces together right here in the right way. A negative and a negative, so the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2, plus or minus square root, all over 2 times a, 2 times 1 is 2. Well, now what we want to do is put this part right here in the calculator. So I'm going to go parentheses negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 8. Press enter. You get 36. So 36, I keep doing that here, but I'll just highlight that right there. It's 36. Now, I'm going to have two roots. I'm going to have 2 plus the square root of 36 divided by 2, and 2 minus the square root of 36 divided by 2. Now go in the calculator. We're going to put what's in the top first. So we've got, oops, there we go. 2 plus the square root of 36, press enter, divided by 2. So the first one right here is x equals 4. The next one we'll do this. We've got 2 minus the square root of 36. Press enter. Divided by 2. It gives you negative 2. So my other one is x equals negative 2. There are your roots right here. Let me find my paper here. Okay, the next ones. Right here, number 68 says the table at the right shows the values of, and it gives you the quadratic equation they're using, and it wants you to find the roots. You should be able to see that the roots are right here. It is where the y number is 0, not the x. Right there, your answer should be negative 2, 0, and 5, 0. This one right here is a mistake. People try and circle or say it's this one. That one is the y-intercept. When you're looking for roots, you're looking for the x-intercepts. And the x-intercepts they have an x number and the y number is 0. Next, on number 69, it says an object is dropped from a tall building. The equation that describes the object is h equals 144 minus 16t squared, where h is the height in feet above the ground after t seconds. What it wants you to do, it says, what is the height? When is the height of the object 128 feet? Well, first off, I know that we're talking about x and y. X is the same as t right here. So x is going to be my time. Y is going to be my height. Well, it wants to know at what time is the ball at 128 feet. I'm going to go in the calculator, go to y equals, and put in there 144 minus 16 x squared, because we don't use t. Press second graph. Look and see where y is 128. I'm right on it right here. It is at 1. So this is true at 1 second. Now it says, how long does it take for the object to hit the ground? If the object's going to hit the ground, the height has to be 0. Okay, so when you go and look in your table, right here, that y is 0 and it's at 3 seconds.